Q&A number 1, let's go. Deuteromus asks, how did you develop your art style? Which artist do you take inspiration from? Well, I started drawing at the age of 3 and haven't stopped since. So I guess the key to get better, grow, and develop a style is consistency. But I'm not a pro, so take that in mind, please. As for what artists inspired this style, it's mainly Bruce Timm and the artists that follow that same animated style he popularized, such as Mike Manley, James Tucker, Shane Glines, Glenn Murakami, Lionel Castellani, Darwin Cook, amongst others who have helped keep this style alive. Another huge inspiration is the multi-talented Kyle Baker, or as I call him, the king of versatility, of whom I have to talk about in the near future, because he truly is an absolute genius who can do just about anything. He is amazing. Amazing. Another big influence would be the Hanna-Barbera style, used for the early shows that they had, like Scooby-Doo and, things like that, which had a unique elegance to the simplicity of that clean style that no other studio has been able to replicate. Also, the Spunko style from Ren and Stimpy played a huge role in developing his style. So it's greatly in part thanks to Bob Camp, Jim Smith, Bill Ray, and all the others that worked for Spunko. Disney and other similar animated films have also helped a lot. I guess I'm a sucker for simplistic, highly stylized shapes and exaggerated proportions. Yeah, I think so. Elfin Lied 8675309 asks, what originally got you into Catwoman as a character? Was it a specific comic, cartoon, or movie? Smiley face. It was actually Batman the Animated Series. I'm sorry for saying this. I'm sorry. I know I did this show. Well, not really a show, but the Catwoman from that show on a previous video. But I truly love Batman the Animated Series. It's a masterpiece. And I was able to discover it at a very young age. I believe I was at the tender age of 4 when it premiered. And it's still one of my earliest memories in life. And it's all thanks to my older brother, who is a massive comic book fan and connoisseur. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but he specializes in comic books. Oh, by the way, he had, or used to have, a comic book store, a very small comic book store, called Gothic Comics, which only lasted a few years, but yeah, I spent several of my early years there just picking up whatever I wanted from the stands, which was mostly DC or Catwoman related books. But that helped further cement my, my lifelong love and admiration for the character, so yeah. Ryan the Man 000 asks, I've got 2 questions. Perfect. Now that we've seen what Absolute Batman will be like, what heroes, villains, or characters would you like to see, and how would you change them? Oh my gosh, so many. But, oh my gosh, that's not the question. I'm sorry. I haven't finished reading the question. I'm sorry. Or if given an opportunity to have write a series set in Gotham, which hero, anti-hero, vigilante not associated with Batman or the Bat family would you pick to be the main focus? And he put several examples, like Simon Dark, whom I love, the Creeper, whom I love, Mother Panic, who I could never really get into, I'm sorry, or Ragman, whom I respect. Okay, so, oh, by the way, love the content, by the way, can't wait for more videos. Thank you so much, Ryan, thank you. Oh, of course, Absolute Catwoman. I would absolutely want to see Absolute Catwoman, but I guess that is a little too predictable, so let's go with another favorite character of mine. Just for the heck of it, let's say Absolute Thorn, the criminally underrated Metropolis vigilante who is just aching to be featured and explored more. She is one of my all-time favorites, and she deserves so much more love than she gets. Anyways, I would finally allow her to go full steam, hunting down and ending the criminals and the organization responsible for her father's demise, the 100. These days it's probably the 1 million or something like that. This time though, I'd make her switch from Rose to Thorn. I'd make the switch basically be more dramatic and noticeable. For example, I would make it I would make it so that she would change her height and build, becoming bigger and more, I guess, plump. Which I think it would be more menacing and imposing than basically just putting on a wig. And I think it would reflect her second and more unhinged personality much better. I don't know, I would do that. As for what character set in Gotham not associated with Batman or the Bat family would I like to bite? That's easy, the Creeper. He is by far my favorite male character from DC, so 1000% Creeper. In fact, please, let me do it, please. Frosty Dog -99 asks, what originally got you into comics and what was the first comic you read? What got me into comics was Batman, the animated series, once again. Once again, I'm sorry. But the first comic I read was not Batman related, actually. It was a reprint of the Cadillacs and Dinosaurs comic by Mark Schultz. Although I think reading is too big of a word because I was too young and I couldn't really read in English back then. But the art was so beautiful and the storytelling was so rich that even a stupid kid like me could appreciate it and follow the story just fine. So yeah, it's a big recommend, by the way. It's a great comic book. If you like dinosaurs or beautiful women, old-fashioned action, this is for you. It's great. Ethereal Dragon 207 asks, if you were a comic book character as an altered version of yourself, what powers and skills would you have and what team would you want to join? No stepping on other characters' toes. I wouldn't dream of it. Years ago the answer would have been much different. I think with perhaps force field or energy projection, kind of like Sue Richards, which I think is the best power of them all. But now at this age, all I can think about is health. You know, I get sick so easily now. It's awful. I'm nearing 40 and it's awful. I hate it. And so yeah, I guess healing powers would be the best option right now. As for the team, that's easy. Birds of Prey. I mean, Oracle, Black Canary, Huntress, and occasionally Catwoman. Please, come on, that's a no-brainer. Although, maybe the Forgotten Heroes too, because I would join any team where Dolphin is in. She's one of my absolute favorites. Plus, that team really does need more powered people in it. It's mostly humans, except for Animal Man, Dolphin, and Kongorilla, last I checked. So yeah, I think they could use another meta in it. I think they're disbanded, but yeah. Toganium 4175 asks, where are you from? Which Huntress series is your favorite? Do you have a favorite single issue for Huntress? And have you ever considered making a video about Superman or Green Lantern? Okay, so I'm from TJ Baja. We're actually right next to the US. I go there all the time, by the way. I love the US. Oh, by the way, for the record, my first language is Spanish, so if my English sounds a little weird, it's because of this, I'm sorry. But yeah, my favorite Huntress series. Oof. That's a hard one because Huntress is one of my favorite characters too, so this might be a cop-out and I'm sorry, but I think my favorite Huntress series would be the Nightwing Huntress miniseries by Devin Grayson. That comic is a treasure. It truly is. It's wonderful and I can't just pick one issue from it, so I'll pick the whole storyline or paperback. It's a delight. I'm serious, it's wonderful. Highly recommended, by the way. As for have I ever considered making a Superman video or a Green Lantern video, there is a Superman related video coming, I think next year, depending on how much it takes to do the ones that I have to do. But, oh, wait, no. Well, there is a Superman related, it's not about Superman, but it involves him. It's my Angora video coming, but it's not really Superman, but I mention him, so I don't know if it counts. But either way, yes. As for Green Lantern, yes, but I think I want to talk about Kyle, since I think he is, with all due respect, my favorite Green Lantern, as well as the one that I grew up with. I don't know, I'm sorry, I love Kyle. Guy Gardner's pretty good too, I think. He's a jerk, but he's a lovable jerk. But Kyle is the best, so yes and yes. Armanii Martinez 8105 asks, can we get a DC movie tier list from you, por favor? Grrr. Absolutely, here it is. You can screen cap this part. Thank you. Just a Mock 7441 asks, would you ever write your own comic? Oh, please, absolutely, yes, please. And I have, and I will continue to do it until the day that I die. I love comics, so yes, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely, yes. Skank 90, what? Skank Night, no wait, Skanite 9291, I'm sorry, I'm not good at reading, as you can see. Sorry for butchering your name. Asks, who's your favorite Marvel character? That is a tough one, because there are a lot of Marvel characters that I adore. There's way too many. But if I had to pin it down, it would be between Rogue, Elektra, Silver Sable, and Shulky, I think. Yeah, it has got to be between those four. Jesus Jimenez Hernandez 7163 asks, which actress do you think should play Catwoman in James Gunn's DCU? Oh, and he adds, my money is on Anche Chau, the girl who played the villain in Man of Steel. Oh yeah. And Morena Baccarin, the girl who voiced Black Canary in Justice League Unlimited. Yes, and she's also from Firefly, I think. And she was in, I think she was Leslie Tompkins in Gotham. But I think we all know her as Vanessa from Deadpool. But yeah, anyways. Those are excellent choices, actually. In fact, I always wanted Morena Baccarin for Catwoman. But isn't this new cinematic universe starting out fresh with younger versions of these characters? Maybe I'm wrong, but that was my impression. Now, before I even say their names, please don't slap me for my picks. Okay, these are just my picks. I'm just tossing a few names to the mix. I'm not saying they're perfect by any means. I'm just throwing something out there, so please don't get mad at me. Here it goes. I would pick newcomers Abby Harris or Rainey Qualley. No, before you slap me on the face for suggesting these two, let me try to make my case first. I really miss the cat-like features that certain actresses used to have, which should always be present when it comes to Selena, and I believe these two could pull it off quite convincingly. But that's just me. Although, then again, we could always find a complete unknown who fits the role perfectly. I don't know. Jesus Jimenez Hernandez 7163 asks, what is your favorite Batman comic? This is a really, really difficult question because there is just too many to pick only one. But I suppose the closest thing to my favorite would be Batman 503. Not because there is anything particularly spectacular about it, but it's well written and it features art from one of my all-time favorites, which would be Mike Manley, and it also marks the first time that Catwoman and Azrael meet, and seeing them interact with each other, the way she toys with him, and just seeing them together is really a delight. Plus, it was one of the first comics I ever had as a kid, so it means quite a lot to me. This is silly, I know, but it does. It really does. Armanii Productions 5680 or 80 asks, probably already been asked, but anything you're currently reading at the moment? I finally decided to rip the big Marvel bandage off and have started reading Hulk and Thor's first run in Journey into Mystery. Oh, okay, cool. I hope it's good. You didn't tell us if you were liking it. Now, before I tell you, you have to promise you won't judge me. I'm reading Absolute Batman. I'm sorry, I simply could not resist. I really wanted to see what it was all about. Everyone is talking about this, and I really wanted to give it a crack, so I did. And I do have opinions about it that I shall share on a further video. But for now, I'll just say that it's refreshing, I guess, at least. But also familiar at the same time. Anyways, I'm quite excited about certain things that are coming out soon, by the way. I will be checking out the Long Halloween sequel, which actually features a different high-profile artist on each issue, which is super exciting. And I believe next month I will be reading Tom King's Black Canary miniseries, of which I have more than a few words to say already. A comic pissing me off even before it launches isn't exactly a good sign, but I guess stay tuned for that rant. But Ryan Sook is doing the interior work, so that alone is worth the price of admission. By the way, is it wrong to say that I read mostly back issues? Because I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for 80s and 90s stuff. I'm sorry if it's not a fun answer. I'm sorry. Matthew Benge 7112 asks, who is your favorite live-action Catwoman and what is your favorite arc for Selena in the comics? Michelle Pfeiffer. Absolutely Michelle Pfeiffer. Despite the huge, vast difference between her and the Catwoman from the comics, Michelle's Catwoman is just perfect. She owns the screen. She makes everyone else around her disappear and commands your full attention. I mean, I would have loved if she had been closer to the comic rather than the Crow-inspired sexy zombie type that we got, which could not be further away from what the real Selena Kyle is, but despite this, Michelle Pfeiffer is just perfect. As for my favorite Catwoman arc, I suppose Chuck Dixon's The Cat File would be the closest thing to my favorite. And I'll say it right here, I love it, but it's not a perfect read. But oh my gosh, is it fun. Just picture this. A branch of the government forces Catwoman to, let's say, retrieve something for them, but knowing Selena, she does not like being forced to do anything. So it's basically Selena versus the government. And that's about as much as I can say. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but let's just say in this story we get to see why Selena is such a phenomenal character all the way around, and quite a badass too, so another recommend. Emmanuel Morris 7653 asks, will you do Marvel or other comics? Oh, of course, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry if I focus too much on DC, but you have to understand, DC is my home. It's how I got into comics. DC is basically where my heart is. But that doesn't mean that I don't love other companies or other characters. I do, believe me. I love Marvel. Very much so. Anyways, short answer, yes. Very much so, yes, absolutely. Jesus Jimenez Hernandez 7163 asks, is your favorite Catwoman the one from the Arkham series? As far as video games go, yes, absolutely. But if you mean in general, as in comics, animation, film, or otherwise, nope. I think she's great, and I love what they did with her. I love Grace's voice. But, you know, come on. How can you top this? No way, Jose. I gotta rap-pa-pa-pa. I gotta rap-pa-pa. What? No. I gotta papa. I gotta papa. Oh, cool. I gotta papa asks, fun. Well, thank you. I hope so. Kendra KVNG asks, thoughts on the DCU, and have there been any fan casts you've seen that have caught your attention? Do you mean in a good way or bad way? Because I haven't liked several of the castings. For example, Supergirl, Millie Alcock, I think is her name. No. And please don't get me wrong, I love the fact that we're going back to basics with a blonde Supergirl. And the actress seems like a lovely, lovely girl. But I just don't see her as Supergirl. She reminds me a lot of Matt Damon, which is not exactly what comes to mind when I picture Supergirl. I don't really get it, but hey, I actually want to like this, so by all means, I hope I'm proven wrong. Just a Mock 7441 asks, do you enjoy any games, video, or tabletop? Yes, I'm actually a retired gamer. I used to be a big-time gamer until I started feeling guilty over how much time I was spending playing. I loved the Tomb Raider series, I loved Spyro the Dragon, I loved Marvel vs. Capcom, Crash Bandicoot, Fighting Force. The Game Boy Pokemon games like Yellow, Silver, Gold, Sapphire, Ruby, and all of that, I used to have those. There were many others that I can't remember at the time, but yes. Oh, and by the way, I was pretty decent at Crash Team Racing. In fact, if anyone wants to play the game with me, I'll do it. Let's do it. Which C-list Batman rogue do you think deserves a comeback, and how would you change them to not suck as much or improve on them? I mean, some real no-name forgettable type villains. Reimagining a character that everyone hates and molding it into something that can potentially become significant to a point where everyone changes their mind about it is a dream come true for any creative. So there are far too many that I think could really shine with a makeover. But if I had to pick just one, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go with Mime. I know people find her lame as heck, and she hasn't really been seen in ages precisely for that reason, but she's just begging to be reworked and explored and improved upon, which could easily be accomplished by simply showing her side and point of view, or perhaps bringing her back as a deeply resentful and deeply disturbed individual who has a personal vendetta against musicians and performers, going after them in vicious ways. Given her silent nature, though, everything would have to be shown rather than told, so it would be a challenge to tell a story without the help of words. But exploring her background as an artist, performer, and dancer, her crumbling psyche, her aggressive nature, and showing just what a dangerous foe she has become after being locked up for so long, becoming almost inhuman even. And that goes without saying, the redesign, which would be great. That's one of the most fun parts. Giving her a whole new arsenal, a whole new look. There's just so much you can do with her. Let's hope someone wises up and takes her out of retirement and brings her back in the best way possible. Missy Blues asks, do you have a comic book relationship that you like, be it platonic or romantic? Ironically enough, someone else answered the same thing I was going to. I love Scott and Barda. I love the tough love dynamic between them, the switched roles of aggressive, strong woman with a serene and gentle man. It's just beautiful. And it's kind of similar to our own relationship. The Jingle Man, known as Chueto, my partner, is very gentle and very calm and sweet, and just, he's very patient and very mannered and very soft. And I'm more aggressive, more playful, more like, which is I guess, I don't know, it works for us. But yeah. Obviously, Selena and Bruce are a must, but they never really last as an official item, or at least not long enough to really qualify. Not to mention that the dynamic between the two is usually quite messy, but let's face it, they were quite literally made for each other and belong together, so I guess them too. Another relationship I really love, but is kind of messed up, is Francine and Kachu from Strangers in Paradise. My goodness, what a roller coaster of emotions that is. The relationship between those two is both beautiful and moving and touching and sweet and it gets to you. It's wonderful. But it is also unbelievably frustrating and irritating, and you just want to like slap them sometimes. But once again, I love them together, so it's. Now, with all due respect, and you are more than welcome to disagree with me here, but there is no safer, healthier relationship in comics than Lois and Clark. I mean, sure, they've had their ups and downs. Who hasn't? But overall, they have this mutual respect, and they both put each other first and cherish each other in a way that I don't think other couples do in comics. Those two actually have all the right ingredients that are sadly lacking in comic books. So, I don't know, there's a lot of people who consider them as boring, but I really love them together. I think they're very sweet. Ethereal Dragon 207 asks, favorite and least favorite Harley Quinn and why? My favorite Harley is easily the one from the main continuity, who was introduced by her daddy, Paul Dini, and artist Yvel Guichet, who was later handled by Carl Kessel and the incomparable Terry Dodson and his lovely wife Rachel. So basically post-crisis, pre-52, pre-revert Harley, you know, the one who was Harley basically, the real Harley. So I think that's my fave. That's prime Harley. You really can't get any better than that. And of course, OG Harley from Batman the Animated Series. and all the subsequent spin-offs and adaptations that she's been in. She's the OG, she's the core of it all, she's the best. Now, my least favorite Harley has got to be, once again, please, Gaga fans, don't take this the wrong way. I don't have any issues with Gaga. My issue is with Harley, not Gaga, so please keep that in mind. But my least favorite Harley is the one from Joker Folie à Deux, who is portrayed as a sad, sad groupie, and a quite desperate one too. She's basically fake to the core, and she's just a pretender, and the worst kind of pretender. She's a mess. Not to mention, Gaga was completely wasted in the film, so I don't like that one. Chueto949, oh, by the way, Chueto949 is the Jingle Man himself, my partner, so he asks, why are you so pretty, and how come you always smell so good? Okay, I'm not pretty, and I don't smell that good. I just shower daily and brush my teeth several times a day, but thank you very much, my love. Thank you for participating. Isn't he adorable? WikiBear9632 asks, what are some female heroes that don't really get enough attention? I think Orphan, Spoiler, and Power Girl. Okay, that's cool, but I think those three ladies you mentioned, Cassandra, Steph, and Karen, who are all excellent, by the way, I love them, especially Cass, but they're not really as far away from people's radar as you may think. For example, all three ladies have multiple action figures. They've been featured in both animation, video games, and even film. But I do get what you're saying. They really do deserve much, much more than they're getting. They really should be more famous. However, these other ladies that I'm gonna mention don't get any kind of love, which should be considered a crime against both pop culture and the comic book world. So, Dolphin, Thorn, She, Pantha, Crimson Fox, Riptide, Anima, Gypsy, Onyx, Phantom Lady, Secret, Empress, Arrowhead, Bumblebee, Halo, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Countless examples could be named. Now tell me, don't you think Cassandra, Stephanie Brown, and Karen look like big-time A-listers in comparison? Feel my pain. Feel my pain. Lonely Gamer 4, thoughts on Killer Moth? Oh, I was actually preparing to do a whole video about him at your request because you have asked for this several times. But since you asked again here, I think Killer Moth has got to be the most interesting character, or at least the character with the most interesting development that I've ever seen. You know, going from a mid to low level crook to an imposing menace in a way that has been seen before and making quite a splash in both forms. I mean, who doesn't remember seeing this cover in the stands back in the day? So, credit where credit is due. Killer Moth managed to do what few can get away with, which is basically successfully reinventing themselves in the most dramatic way and getting away with it. Yeah, props to Killer Moth for doing that. Hellboy ID6SS asks, why is the sky blue? Okay, I'm very stupid. I should probably know this. I'm sure they teach this in primary school, but I had to Google this. So, the sky is blue because of the process called the Rayleigh scattering, which occurs when sunlight passes through the Earth's atmosphere and is scattered by the air molecules. I hope that helps. And that is it. Thank you so much for all the questions asked by you, but please, before you go, let me just say something. Please, wait, hold on. Thank you to each and every one of you who watched, subscribed, liked, commented, or recommended, or, I don't know, even the memed ones that I've gotten. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to do so. You're the best. You seriously are. I wouldn't be able to do this without you, and just thank you so much. Thank you. Now, this next piece is from another video, which was supposed to come out over 4 weeks ago, but it's so long that we haven't finished it yet. So what we did is we cut the thank you message from the end of that video and placed it here. So if it sounds and looks a little out of place, it's because it is. But it's done with the best of intentions, and it's our way of showing how much we appreciate you all. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Be safe and well, and enjoy. Thank you. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best.
You're the best around. Thank you for subscribing and watching. Yeah, you're the best around. Never let anyone bring you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. All I wanna do is to thank you, even if I don't know who you are. You are awesome, si senor. You're the most awesome, por favor. All I wanna do is to thank you, even if I don't know who you are. You're forever el mejor. You're awesome, por favor. Whoever you are. You're awesome, si senor. Whoever you are. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You're so kind and generous. I wanna thank you, 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 thank you. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Thank you, 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 thank you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. We can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath our wings. And I want to thank you for being so awesome, oh my Lord. And I wouldn't be here if I weren't for you, all my... Okay. And I want to thank you for being so awesome, oh my Lord. And I wouldn't be here. And I want to thank you for being so awesome, oh my Lord. And I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, oh my Lord. And I want to thank you for being so awesome, oh my Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, ha ha ha. Thank you, ha ha ha.